stop.
Okay, so here's the thing about this law. What it does, it's not something. It's not. I mean, it's a good thing actually, because back then, all right, check this out. Yeah, back then, I think before 2000, in the year 2000. Now a lot of filmmakers were making money back then because there's not much of a competition.
Right. And welcome to another episode of Kopi with my guest today, Abraham.
What's up?
So Abraham, I knew him because we were both in production. So
Yeah.
to some of you guys that don't know, I'm actually a producer. I also make commercials, some short films every now and then. But he is on a whole other level. I'm just like a small fish over here. So maybe Abraham, could you give some introduction to the people out there?
Yeah, I do films, short films, music videos, commercial. I think Puma. I think it was like 4 years ago.
Puma, man.
4 years ago. Music video. I did a lot of mass music. I think 3 music videos for them.
Yeah, mass music.
Yeah.
The Boys.
Adam's Family.
Catch a Vibe.
Catch a Vibe. Yeah. Catch a Vibe. Catch a Vibe is like, it's my favorite music video.
Yeah, legit. That was a good one, man. I love that one, man.
And some of the local artists as well. I'm not sure like if you guys can remember them. It's been so long. I'm taking a break now actually.
Oh yeah. So like he was still pretty active, and we were with him. We actually worked together on a project together. And I think so. Right now you're doing something else, right?
Yeah, just business.
Yeah, man.
Yeah,
He's now like, look at him. Like, okay, before this, like long hair. Looks like one of those stoner dudes, like super chill kind of dude. Like, right now it's like super businessman.
I used to have a earring back then.
Oh yeah, legit.
Yeah.
Yo,
I look like a hobo.
Yo. So anyways, he is definitely upgraded right now and looking super fresh and clean.
For a while.
For a while?
Yeah, just for a while.
Yo, you have to keep this up, man. It's looking good, bro.
I don't feel it's me.
Ah, okay, true lah. Then don't do it lah. It's like, okay, like do it for the money.
You gotta eat though. You gotta eat.
Yeah. So actually, we are here today because of it's like a very spontaneous kind of thing. With the whole Finas fiasco. As you guys already might know, I think so. What government is the state?
Finas.
Finas is what's Finas? Can you tell?
The organization of film in Malaysia, and basically they're in charge of rules and laws, regulation as well for films locally in Malaysia. So even though you're from outside, let's say you're from Philippines and you want to come here to shoot, you still have to go through Finas first.
True. So basically, they came out with this statement whereby any filmmakers, okay, the statement they already have corrected it. I didn't know, but just for demonstration purposes of why they reacted so strongly to this, because I think most people reacted strongly to this because they said that you need to get a license for 50,000 ringgit. That is crazy, and that applies at that time. It applied to people that even like on TikTok, IG, YouTube, any content. Even like this would have been the last episode if it wasn't for the letter that they came out with, the statement that came out yesterday.
Yeah, yesterday.
So, but here's the thing, like Abraham had a different opinion. While everyone was like, oh no, this is a bad thing, it's the wrong thing. Somebody told me like, actually it's actually a good thing. Do you know that? I'm like, what? I mean, can you share why you think like it's actually a positive?
So first of all, actually this law is not something new. It's actually it's been around since for decades. I mean, it's like I think since 1981. 1981, but they just implement this law. How to say this? They just enforce this law because like a lot of how to say this? Since there's a new like people taking over in Finas, so there's a lot of changes happening right now. For the good, or maybe not. Sometimes for the filmmakers. Or even in this case TikTok.
Right, true.
So see, in 1981, at that time people don't have any social media. Right. No YouTube, no Snapchat, no Instagram, no TikTok. So of course, like with this law, I mean, it doesn't make any sense. But a lot of people actually misconcept with the law nowadays. When they see the, I think it was like 3 days ago.
Right.
Oh yeah, 3 days ago. And everybody just jump in and it's like, what the fuck is this?
Right.
It's not normal. Are you trying to control us? Like government trying to control this.
Right.
But no, it's actually, I think it's just misconception, but they already cleared it out.
Right.
So TikTokers, you guys can still dance. So
True. Shake that booty for me. But anyways,
do you dance any TikTok, by the way?
I do TikTok videos, but they're not none of those like dancing kind of stuff. It's like more comedy skits kind of shit. But I'm not really active on TikTok. I'm more active on YouTube. And
My cousin actually forced me to
shit,
to
legit.
dance, to shoot TikTok for her. I did some shooting, pew pew pew, pew pew pew. And another one is like just like dancing around in the fucking rain.
Oh shit! I don't know. I'm not trying to throw shit on TikTokers. Like legit, it's all creative, and at the end of the day, it's freedom of expression. So, but it's just not my kind of thing. So kudos to you guys that continue to do it. But anyways, that when the whole Finas that basically the announcement came out, I was like, whoa, that is absolute bullshit. I cannot accept it, and it's because that look. Basically, it's our rights to basically be putting out content out there on YouTube, on Instagram, and we're not making money from it, right? Anymore, like personal use. Like, look, if let's say you take a video of your daughter's birthday or what, you have to go through Finas. Look, that's bullcrap, lah. I think so. It's like a communist kind of state, really. If you're doing that kind of stuff.
Birthday,
Yeah, my grandma. You are legit. Yeah, so it's like insane. Now. Once he enlightened me with the fact that a DOP, like you told me, like in the early 2000s, the filmmaking industry was basically booming.
Before.
Yeah, before, right?
Yeah,
Could you explain a bit more?
So here's the thing about this law. What it does, it's not something. It's not. I mean, it's a good thing actually, because back then, right, check this out. Yeah, back then, I think before 2000, in the year 2000. Now a lot of filmmakers were were making money back then because there's not much of a competition,
right?
All right, so average back then, like a DOP, they can earn. We're talking about average here.
Yeah, average.
So like back then, you can get like 50,000 ringgit.
Sure.
Per day.
Per day.
Per day.
Whoa. Okay.
Per for a project, right?
Right.
So because of the there's a new digital camera that introduced, because back then it's film camera,
right?
Where you edit is you just have to like cut it,
right,
paste it,
yeah, right.
So like right now you edit, you just use
your PC,
your phone.
Yeah, your phone. I mean, I'm recording on a digital camera right now.
Yeah,
right.
So digital camera is like so cheap compared to an actual film camera.
Give an idea like how much would it cost, like?
Okay, like a film camera can cost you like 500,000,
right?
100,000. But for like a digital camera like this camera, like maybe 4K, 3,000.
2,000. You can get a photo of mine, but I'm recording on an M50 right now.
True.
There's only 2-point-something K only, and you're adding all the lenses, maybe around 4,000.
4,000. Now a lot of people actually bought the camera and started to shoot and started to become a filmmaker,
right,
as their profession,
right.
So they charge normally they charge like a lot of money for a project, but because of this camera, once they bought it, they charge lower.
Right.
And then what it does to the market is like it drops. The value drops.
Right.
A lot of veteran filmmakers they retired and they voiced out this complaint before they retired.
Right.
And then I'm not gonna mention names actually. I know like most of them. And then what happened is that 2014, there's this a good friend of mine. He used to be the president, the one who's in charge in Finas.
Right.
And they implement this law.
Right.
50,000 for a license, but you can you pay, let's say 2 years.
Right.
2 years after you started a production house.
Right.
Now, before you start a production house, you have to pay $2, just $2.
Oh, okay.
Just $2 for the license for Finas, and then 2 years after that, you have to pay 50,000.
Right.
Right. So I mean, it's fair, and it creates like a lot of opportunity for people. But fast forward nowadays, it's too much competition, and like if it's a good competition, I don't mind actually.
Right.
I'm happy. Like we live in a world where like we have to compete in order to become great. But the problem is that we're not talking about quality here. We're talking about the value, like the cost. How much do they pay us? And if we do like event shoot like that, they charge really low.
Right.
All right. I'm pretty sure like you heard about this, like this saying around this community, around this industry, like, oh, okay, like the buyers, the person who hires you say like, why should I hire you if I can just use my my phone?
My phone, yeah, I got that before.
Yeah, I have like 4K on my camera.
Yeah,
my phone camera. So, I mean, what it does is just ruin the whole market. And what it does, this new law, what it does to us is like, most freelancer, they have to they have to pause and rethink about their decision, like their jobs.
Right.
If I were you, I would actually think, what will I do?
Right.
I will actually, I mean, I don't have much money,
right,
to start it out. What will I do? I probably start from production houses, the production house that has this license, that can actually pay for this license to shoot. What it does to for people like us is that it creates more knowledge. It gives more knowledge. It gives more job opportunity, and it gives more experience.
right.
A lot of a lot of people like right now they call themselves filmmaker by just watching YouTube and then shoot out there and then made a mistake. I'm pretty sure you have someone.
Right.
I
mean, to pause you right there,
Okay.
I would be what you're talking about. I'm actually the person that you're talking about. I'm those people that learn from YouTube and start out making films on there, and definitely I have, maybe added to, I guess, the issue, which is dropping of prices over there. And in my own, I mean, I do feel like both sides of it. I can understand both sides of it, because you have I do this for a living, so making commercials and stuff, and I have clients that actually told me like, dude, I can do it on my iPhone. Why should I hire you? Right? There was one time I charged 15,000 for a documentary. Okay, a documentary. So that's what my client asked of me, and I assumed that was the price, and I kind of researched around there for 10 minutes like that, which is professionally done really well. They would charge around 20,000, 30,000 like that for a 10-minute documentary. Would you say that's like a reasonable price for a documentary?
50,000.
Yeah, 30,000.
30,000
for a 10 to 15-minute documentary.
Depends on the context.
Yeah, the context of it,
So if the context is it's doable, then yeah.
Yeah, it's doable. So I think it all boiled down to some sort of miscommunication and whatnot. But from there, it spiraled out of control. My clients told me hey, I can shoot on my iPhone. Why do I need to pay this 15,000? So I kind of get that sort of feeling. And at the same time, also you got people that very fresh in the market. They are maybe students, fresh grads, or somebody that just started from home. And they charge super low price. So when my clients compare with them, they say hey, they can do a good job also. Why should I hire you? So I kind of get both sides. But I know maybe I'm part of the problem also as well. And here's the thing, when I heard it for the first time, and without any context, I would say oh, this Finas shit is horrible, it's bullshit and stuff. But after you came and tell me from the filmmaker's side of view, the industry's point of view, I kind of now understand. I think so it would be fair if Finas were to, 50,000 is ridiculous if it's anybody. But if you are making money from filmmaking, or any sort of work related to digital media, that requires recording of videos, then yes, you should be liable to pay a certain sort of fee that is, I think, so feasible for for them to continue work. It cannot be ridiculously priced. Maybe you can categorize them for instance, if you're just an independent filmmaker, you're just alone by yourself, there's a separate price versus a production house. Maybe there's some intermediaries in between. Then yes, I think so that would make sense, and I would accept that. I would accept that. But if it's 50,000 right off the bat for any filmmaker to start, it will be a disaster. I mean, you will be killing a lot of people's dreams. I think so. One of the sentences I sent to you on it was on DM, which was, if this law was implemented, it would basically kill a lot of the dreams of the youth out there that are trying their best to go after their dreams. So I kind of get it from your point of view. And what do you think you can elaborate more upon this?
Alright, since you mentioned about that, a lot of restriction and everything, bro, let me tell you something. The more you get restricted, the more you become more creative. The more you will find ways. In Malaysia, we have a problem with our rules here. It's so wide, it's so loose.
Yeah, true.
To shoot, you can just grab your camera and shoot down there.
Right.
Without even getting, we don't even have a problem with the cops.
Yep, correct.
Like in America, if you want to shoot somewhere, you gotta have a license to shoot.
Right.
You know, right now they implement that law as well, as
Right.
license. You know, so a lot of rules is necessary
Right.
for you to become more creative.
Right.
You know, example, like you wouldn't actually think about like shooting your podcast here.
Right, of course.
Right? You have to have like, you know, a challenge. Like for example, why don't you shoot somewhere else? Why do you pick this place?
So what I mean, as a legit question. Okay, so because first thing first, it's easy, it's accessible for me. You know, I don't have to ask permission for anyone to film within my own property, right? And it's also convenient for me. That's why I shoot it in my own home. So I hope that answers the question.
No, like for example, of course, when we wanna like do something, we actually hope for the best. So when you do this podcast, of course you want to do something like Joe Rogan podcast.
Yes, correct.
You want to reach that level.
Right.
But you can't reach that level if you don't have any money,
Right.
experience,
True.
and also an accessible or resource to achieve that. So that is your restriction.
Yes.
So from there you get more creative. Why not just shoot here? Just decorate this whole place and shoot and look, become fruitful, right?
Yeah, it's true.
So I'm saying that this law, the more restriction, the better. Actually, we have to strive. We have to strive more. You know, to become more creative, we need more. We need more restriction. You know, for example, I give you one great example.
Right.
Christopher Nolan. How does he start? How did he start?
No idea. Tell me, man.
He only has $11,000
Okay.
for budget.
Right.
And he wants to do a feature film. And at that time, film camera is so expensive. Alright? So how do you do it? He rented. He picked the right people for the right job. I mean, of course it's free, but the actors. Alright, he just paid the actors. And it took him, I think, 5 to 7 weeks, maybe more, to complete the feature film.
Right.
Because he was just waiting for his time, don't rush. Because if he rush, waste more money.
Right.
Alright, so he just gathered around all the resources that he can get. That's the restriction.
Right.
And we need more of that.
True. I mean, I can agree with the point of view that is, restriction brings about more creativity. When you're more limited, you tend to be more creative with your options over there. And but there must be, like I said, if it's like you were to be making money from it, then yes, I agree that you have to pay that sort of license or fee over there. And this is a question I want to ask. You went to film school?
Yeah.
For this? So, okay, maybe to the aspiring filmmaker out there, right? What would your advice be? Is it because with the advent of the internet out there, pretty much you can learn everything. Like I myself, I didn't have a tertiary education. I learned to filmmake by myself on YouTube. I learned how to basically draw by myself, or by tutorials online. Anybody can do it these days. So why would I need to go to film school in order to be a great filmmaker?
Okay. What you learn from internet is not
Right.
hands-on. You need the hands-on because it's a hands-on skill.
Right.
All right. You need to actually operate the camera in order for you to learn. Okay. And you need to have, it's a team player. You need to have a lot of people that actually share the same vision with you.
Right.
All right. People who want to learn filmmaking as well, who are hungry. Okay. And connection in the future, of course.
Right. There's another thing.
How do you learn all this stuff without the access of the camera, of the people, the students,
Right.
And even you get you get your own mentor,
Yeah, correct.
your teacher. So I'd say, don't discourage for like people who couldn't afford, can't afford to get into film school. Then that's why you have no other excuse to not actually do film.
Right.
You can learn it from internet.
Right. True.
All right. But like for people who want to learn, and then you choose not to go to film school because you have this idea that in this community they feed you this idea. All right, it's not just in Malaysia, around the world actually. They say like you don't need film school. You don't need to go to film school. You can just learn it. Everybody can become director. See, you need to go to film school. You have to. But if you don't have the resource, don't worry. There's internet for that.
Right.
There's nothing can stop you. And that's why I'm trying to I'm trying to tell people as well, don't get discouraged by this new law.
Right.
Find alternatives way to solve the problem.
Right.
Because filmmaking fundamentally, you're solving the problem.
Right. True. Right. And whatever you say is, I think, so truly enlightening, in the sense that as someone that's also like a filmmaker as well, I mostly make commercials these days, but it's true. Like I think so. I didn't went to university. You know, it's of course not by choice. I felt like my parents already were pretty old, and you know, if I were to go, it's going to be like another financial blow for them. You know, but I guess I've always been very tenacious, so I felt like you know it shouldn't be an excuse. So I know what. So what? You know, like I think so. I share it was on this podcast as well as well. You know, how I got into filmmaking. It was like I think so. It was the year 2012, 2013. And I saw, I think so, yeah, actually it's way even before that. It was the year where, you know, YouTubers were on the rise, Wong Fu Productions started coming out with their short films and stuff. And to see Asian representation out there, you know, years back there in like somewhat in the mainstream, you know, in YouTube, it gave me like, wow, this is amazing. You know, all these guys look like me, but they can do this kind of, you know, this sort of stuff. Because back then it's only in Hollywood and kind of stuff, and maybe on TVB or that, but you know, I guess maybe it's just my perspective, but you know, Hollywood is like the the creme de la creme, you know, basically, and to see the promised land. So everyone wants to make it to Hollywood. I mean, like if you tell at least 9 out of 10 people, if you tell them that if they could be a Hollywood star, and then like within the next day they will take it, right?
So the thing, if you go to the Philippines, even though you go to the village, we call it barangay.
Yeah, barangay.
Alright. Even if you go there, and then to shoot, and then a lot of people in the barangay, they will just come into you. It's like, can I be in the Hollywood? Can I be in Hollywood? Everybody wants to go to Hollywood, man.
True. So to continue that, I think so. A year or two after that, that's when Genie Boy started lah. And that's when I saw these like Malaysian short films that were on the caliber of like Wong Fu Productions. I'm like, whoa, a Malaysian is doing it. I'm like, whoa, no, I'm like super proud, you know. And like, okay, that they influenced my mind. But what sealed the deal for me was in 2012, I think so, 2015, 2013, I forgot what year. It was in my lower six. I saw every year Petronas become all this like emotional advertisements for Raya and all that stuff, right? They actually came to my school and they filmed a short film called Akrab that's for Raya. It's like Raya advertisement or something like that. It's a short film. So I saw the cranes, I saw the huge cameras, and I saw them convert the walkway of where my school, like every time you walk to the canteen in that walkway, they converted it into a set. So I'm like, whoa, that's amazing, man. So like,
remember the Milo?
Which one?
The Milo.
The Milo?
Yeah.
Oh, of course, man. Who doesn't?
Free Milo!
And the Milo there, for some reason, always tastes better than the one.
This is what the country needs actually, free Milo.
Free Milo. More of that shit. You can solve a lot of problems if you have free Milo, people.
Yes.
Remember. But anyways, damn. So that was what they sealed the deal. Like, I want to be a filmmaker. And in 2000, in that lower six, I was supposed to join this like short film competition. And it's called NIE, it's in the Initial Times, right? And they have it every year. But when it came to 2013, they kind of cancelled it. So that was like, it shot me down basically, and I was a bit down for a moment. But I told myself, you know what, I'm not gonna let this limit me. So what I did was actually I started a proposal for a short film festival for St. Michael's, and this was in 2013 And I submitted it to the principal's office, and I didn't know whether it would pass or go through the principal's head or get ignored But thank God, it got approved, and it was basically the principal called me one day and said like, hey Jason, could you come over to the office and explain to me your idea? And I basically told up the principal basically, and at the time, and I said, Madam Principal, what if amongst our youth today, there could have been a great director, there could have been a great actor, there could have been a great scriptwriter, but because you didn't take up this opportunity, you would have denied them the chance. Now, in St. Michael's, there's this long-standing tradition of having stage play. Nothing wrong with stage play.
You could have become president.
Who, me?
Yeah.
Hopefully.
Jason 2020.
Someday. Finas, you looking? Just kidding. But anyways, there's this long-standing tradition. One of the challenges that I had to go through to get the short film festival pass was they had every year we had a stage play, drama every year. It's a long-standing tradition in St. Michael's. And for us to break that tradition, we had a lot of people against it basically. It's like kind of half and half kind of support to my side and half support to the stage play. But what I told the principal, very gave her the confidence. We are not replacing stage play with the short film festival. What we're doing is we're evolving from one medium to another. That's all. And what was the benefit of having the short film festival compared to the stage play was that if it's a short film festival, you can have more than one director, you can have more than one main actor, you can have more than one script writer. So you can have multiple students, like there's unlimited student involvement basically. Anyone can join. And it gives equal opportunity for everybody out there. So, and I think so all these points, I guess in the end, kind of convinced the PIBG head and also convinced the principal, and thank God it went through. And the very year itself, it was passed, and I wasn't the organizer, so I joined in as a competitor. And then that's where I did my first 2 short films, still up on YouTube right now. Of course, it's like, I only had like one camera, one DSLR camera, which I borrowed from the school. I know nuts about filmmaking. I don't know anything. I don't even know how to use a DSLR. It was the first time I hold a DSLR in my hands. And with my mate Kajin, you're watching, thank you. You also got me inspired. He's also another inspiring person. He basically got me involved in this filmmaking bit, and like he was my director and I was the producer / co-director. And we started making these 2 short films. It was called 13 Years of Michaelian. That was like my goodbye to my school. Okay, so basically, if you spend 13 years in St. Michael's, that means you're there since standard 1 to upper 6. So that's why it's called 13 Years of Michaelian. So I think so. There's one film called 13 Years a Slave or something like that. But there's no slavery involved. Okay, so it was basically my goodbye. Maybe like the principals have become the pet. Right?
Yeah.
But anyways, that's a story.
Don't go to school, kids.
That's a story for another time. But anyways, what do you call that? Where did I stop? I think so basically the short film was my goodbye project to say to my school. I mean, some St. Michael's you learn a lot of stuff, and people that left the school, they really love the school. The old boys. Even there's an old boy association also, and if you see their Facebook page or Facebook group in St. Michael's, they're still pretty online. So they're very supportive. The Facebook group, it's been there for a long time already, and all my clients are still very active on there, and they show the love for the school until to this day. And I think so the old boys or the PIBG also, they have really supported the school in terms of funding, because it's not a fully government school, it's like half kind of thing. So essentially speaking, that was like my goodbye project to the school. So I really loved my St. Michael's, and that was my bye-bye. And that's one film. The other one's called White Coffee Love. So White Coffee Love is because it was an interracial relationship story. So milk, coffee, mix it in, white coffee. So and Ipoh is also known for white coffee, so it's not like the regular coffee, not coffee love, right? So it's
I love white coffee, man. That's what I order like every time when I go to
bro, because Ipoh, you have very high standards for coffee, man. I still find it really hard to find good coffee in like PJ and KL. But there are some places. There's just one place in Puchong, right? That place has Puchong has really a lot of good food, and there was coffee there that was on the same level as Ipoh. But anyways, these 2 short films were my first short films, and they actually got White Coffee Love got first, and 13 Years of Michaelian got 4th. So, and you know what? To end this story, the very newspaper that denied me the chance of entering featured me in the Straits Times. I'm like, whoa! So it's like a full-on like.
See, you
story.
hustle hard, man. That's the key thing about being a filmmaker.
Yeah.
We are like miracle workers.
Right, and I think so from the experience of making the film with very much zero budget, I can understand your sentiment of like limitations create more creativity basically in the work that you do. You need to really think outside the box of like how to get things done without the funding, without the equipment, and it can be done. So I think so I can say that it really brought a new light to me what you've said, and also that it's something that an issue that should be addressed. And I think so the current rules right now, I'm not pretty sure about it yet, what's going to be the final verdict on it. But I do think that there should be funding in licensing in terms of like if you're making it a career. Do you have anything to add on?
Be professional. No. The only people who are like eligible to obtain that license, you have to have 3 years or maybe 4 years of portfolio. Okay, and you have to have summer app, and then you have to have of course money.
Right.
So these three if you have, all right, then you're able to to get the license.
Right. Sure.
That's
Right. So how do I apply for these licenses?
Which license?
If you say that 7 days before, if you're shooting somewhere, you need to get a license.
For Finas, bro.
Finas as well, is it? And do you have to pay for?
No, not at the time being. No, I don't think so.
Oh, but
if you're going to shoot, let's say if you're going to shoot, let's say JD Sport. Well, you have to ask permission from JD Sport and also the Finas. Right.
If I were to shoot like a prank video, let's say I go to like McDonald's or something,
you need to shoot. You need to get the license and ask for the permission.
Oh shit. Yeah. Okay. So like all these public pranks things is kind of hard to do here, I guess.
I mean, guerrilla tactics, bro.
Would it work? I mean, like how? Okay, let's say I give you a topic right now. If let's say I were to tell you, hey Abraham, I've got this idea of like shooting this prank where I go into like McDonald's and prank all. They give you like free refills, right? Okay. You just get a bucket and you put the Coca-Cola logo there, and then you get the counter and ask them for like a refill, like a prank style like that. How would you? How could you do it?
If it's a prank, I'd say that we have to. Okay, if it's just a prank, we can just do it with our phones.
Yeah.
If you want to use camera, run and gun, guerrilla tactics, bro.
Right. Will I get into trouble with Finas for it?
Of course.
So they're gonna fine me?
Yeah.
Okay. Now you know, guys. That's why I don't see a lot of Malaysians doing pranks. It's like really tough, I guess.
Bro. Okay. This law also exists in United States.
Right.
And do you see like prank videos?
I still see prank videos.
There's a lot.
So it's possible.
There's a lot. So again, we always resolve to guerrilla tactics. Always find solution to the problems.
So in a sense that the rules are not enforced or they're not strict with it.
It is strict.
Really?
Like I advise you to follow the laws. Like
If
you don't have the don't have the guts to do it,
that's your problem, lah.
Yeah, that's your problem.
Yeah. So you reap what you sow, basically.
Yeah, that's it. But you wouldn't know if you never tried.
Yeah, man.
Just go for it.
Yeah, man. So
breaking the law.
Breaking the law. So guys, if you want to become a rebel, like now is the best time to be a rebel. Yeah. So. Anyways, is there anything else that you want to add on before like we close up on this chapter of?
I remember something actually.
Oh shit.
Yeah. So basically, all right. Okay. Here's the thing that we should address. Again, we're living the 21st century.
Right.
Okay. There's still a lot of parents who are very skeptical about our jobs.
Yeah. Okay. That's something interesting
about our jobs. Now,
right.
What it does, this law, right? Slowly, don't worry, guys. Like because with this law, there's even more laws coming in. So watch out. Now, what it does, this kind of law, the ripple effect, in the future. Let's just say maybe 10 years from now, all right? If they really enforce this law, okay? People don't really simply go to, go to shoot on the streets,
right?
All right, and they're more controlled. The freelancers, less freelancers. So that means there's more opportunity,
right?
Because they don't disrupt the market. Less competition, and people who actually think that okay, so if I want to become a filmmaker, I have to go for school, and after I go to school, I need to get a job, go for like production company, and then work my way up there till I have enough money to start a company,
right,
and register for a license.
So basically, Abraham, there's this thing that I always asked a lot of these artists that came to my show. I think so we can read in the sense that we're both in the creative realm, the creative industry, and that has come with a lot of prejudice from basically the old generation, our parents and all that. Because I think so the main reason is because they don't feel like there's any prospects in the industry. And you said that this law is going to benefit in helping that, getting rid of the prejudice. How so?
Okay. It's a long stretch, but hear me out first. Okay, so with this law, they will increase the number of freelancers.
Right.
Therefore, the market will actually get better because less competition, right?
Right.
But the problem is that all freelancers, most freelancers, they're forced to get a day job.
Right.
Because they couldn't afford to get this license, to pay for this license, to conduct their business. So what will happen is that they will get a day job, and most filmmakers automatically set some kind of rule. You want to be there, you need to have a company, but before you have a company, you have money, right?
Right.
So how to get money? You gotta do job.
Right.
You gotta have a job.
Have a job, right?
All right. So and how to get a job if you don't have any experience?
Right.
All right. Of course, you gotta learn.
Yeah.
All right. You gotta gain some experience. And what better way to get a experience is to go for film school, right?
True.
Now it becomes more like a profession already, in a sense, because most parents here they think that if you're doing art, if you're doing film, it's not a profession.
Right.
All
It's
right?
like a hobby. It's a
hobby.
phase. Nothing.
True.
Right.
So like let's say in the future, probably I hope so. Like a lot of kids will be like, okay, let's go to film school
Yeah.
to learn this.
Right.
All right, to learn the films.
Right.
And then after I graduated, I'm gonna go get a job.
Right.
Get a day job, gain more experience, getting more getting better at your craft, and get paid, so that you have a saving. Either you wanna do your own project, or
Yeah.
or you wanna start a company. You wanna
True.
open a company and pay for Finas license. There you go.
Yeah. So basically that helps in a sense, and yeah, I think so. It's like a truly enlightening thing for all of us. Again, I say it many times, but it really is. And because I've never been able to speak to anyone that has done this as a full-time profession, someone that's gone to film school. So it's an interesting perspective, and it goes to show that what was Finas actually trying to do, and what problem they're trying to resolve, essentially speaking, was the fact of people out there that too many freelancers out there, and there's it just screws up the market price, I think so, for all things.
Yes.
So having this rule, I think so, a modified rule, okay, something that is relooked at and being more fair and realistic for basically people out there in the industry. Because if they were to just implement, strict everyone that does film for a living, you have to pay 50K, you're going to destroy our careers, and a lot of people will be out of jobs. So I think so it needs to be looked at, researched at, and maybe conduct a survey of how much people can really afford to pay for licensing, at the same time being able to make this a career. So I think so it's thank you so much for basically sending me a DM not too long ago, and it sounds bad, but it's a good kind of DM.
Yeah.
But anyways,
DM.
it's not in my DM, bro. So if you guys want to be on the podcast, send me enlightening stuff in my DMs, so you can be on the podcast. Yeah. So anything you want to tell them out there before we go?
Never surrender on your dream. Never give up.
Right.
Just because there's a problem, you need to solve it.
Right.
All right. You want to go up there. Right? You want to reach on top. You want to be something all that. You want to be Drake.
Yeah.
You want to be whoever I don't know. You go to the president. You need to fight your battle. Never surrender. Never give up. All right. Never listen to your parents. If they, even friends.
Right.
I've seen a lot of people like that.
I mean, this is what I tell a lot of people too. Look, I'm sure what your parents are trying to do, or what they're actually trying to do, is they're trying to make sure that you don't make the wrong choices. But look, if I want to get advice on being a filmmaker, or let's say in my case, I was a bodybuilder before, you don't ask your dad, because my dad's an accountant. I love my dad, but he knows nuts about being a filmmaker or being a bodybuilder. So why should I ask? Why should I listen to him, right? You listen to somebody that has been in the industry, been there before, and he'll tell you the realities of it, right? So that is why you have to pick who you listen to.
Correct. Yeah. And I'm speaking on my behalf that I'm also facing this problem.
Right.
Together, all of us.
Yeah.
I need to find 50K to pay for the license. So I understand where we all come from, our needs and what we want, and what we deserve, as an artist.
Right.
We're not just some kind of videographer pay for someone. No, we're more than that.
Yeah.
We have creativity.
Yep.
We have the power to change the world, man.
Yeah, true.
To influence people.
Very true, very true. And that's all we have for the podcast today. Thanks for tuning in. This has been a enlightening podcast. Actually, this is the first time we only had we're going back to the old format, which is actually me without Brendan. So Brendan, if you guys want to know where he's out there spending time with his girlfriend, having some sweet time. So shout out to Brendan, I miss you, and I'm having some tough time with the Logic Pro right